Guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be discussing more transfer news and rumors, and the one that will be getting us started is Mourinho's search for a better defender. Now, as we know that Jose Mourinho loves to have a defensive style on his team, and so for that you need better defenders, and that's exactly what Mourinho thinks, and he wants better defenders. As we know, Phil Jones haven't been cutting it lately at Man United, and Eric Bailly and Lindelof haven't lived up to their potential as they showed in the first season of their career at Man United. So Mourinho wants more quick replacements for them, which are more capable and much better. And these are the nine replacements Mourinho has on his list to replace them. The first one is Jerome Boateng. Now, as we know that Bayern are not very much interested in Jerome Boateng, they're not playing him as often. He's just playing like 20 games for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and so he's on their transfer list. He wants to go. Bayern want to sell him, so this is a much more of a realistic option than the other, which we will be discussing later. Now, if Boateng joined United, we don't know that how he will perform. He might end up being like Phil Jones or even worse, because his performance has seriously gone down due to the lack of playing time. We saw that in the World Cup in Germany when Germany got knocked out. He actually received a red card. He wasn't doing that well. He wasn't defending that well. And to be honest, I don't think that this would be a good option for United, as United want better defenders who have had experience. And yes, Boateng does have experience, but due to the lack of game time, as I mentioned before, he hasn't been at his best. We know that he could be a beast in defense, but Bayern seriously do not like him. They are not playing him. So they have also bought Sula for as his replacement, and they are playing him more often. And Hummel has taken his position also. So there is very less playing time for him. And Bayern also, he has been struggling with injuries, and as we know that Eric Bailly also struggles for fitness, which would not be liked by Mourinho. And so this might not be a better transfer, but still it is one of the realistic transfers of the window. Also, I wanted to mention that he is not the only one who is in talks with United, as United want 8 others for if Boateng does not come, and I'll introduce you guys to those 8 others one by one, and we will analyze how likely it is for them to come to United. But the first one, just what we talked about, Boateng, I think I'll give it a 8 out of 10 to come at United. I know it's a lot, but he can actually come because of United's interest in him and his interest in leaving Bayern. The next up, and we should go over this quickly, is Rafael Varane. Of course, there's no chance of him coming to United. He's been brilliant at Madrid, but if this rumor had been out 3 years back, then it might have been a possibility, but now it's not a great possibility, and I don't think United are really going to take him, and neither are Real going to sell him. They just sold one of their key players, Ronaldo, and they won't like to sell another one of those, which is Rafael Varane, which would make them very weak at the back. Of course, he's a young defender, and also, as we know, Ramos is aging up, so they won't like to sell him, as they think he's a perfect successor of Ramos. The third on this list, and also it's not as likely as Boateng, but it isn't even as unlikely as Varane, and that is Toby Alderweireld. Now, Alderweireld, as we talked about in previous videos, he has been linked with United for the past 2 or 3 months, but of course Tottenham's owner and managers, thinking we all know what they want, they do not want to strengthen their opponents and weaken themselves, so I don't think they will sell him to a Premier League club. But if he actually somehow manages to go to United, I think that will be a great move for United and for Alderweireld. Both will be happy, but this would hurt Tottenham a lot, as he is one of the best defenders in the Premier League. And yeah, so I think I'll give it a 5 out of 10 chance of happening. I don't see it happening, but if it does happen, United will benefit a lot from it. Also, Kalidou Koulibaly has been linked with United, but of course, just like Ron, why would Napoli sell one of their best defenders? There's no sense in that. Also, yeah, they want 100 million or above for Kalidou Koulibaly, which I don't think is acceptable for United. They have already turned down that offer, and they are also looking at replacements, but I don't think that United would have been able to sign him either if he would have been of a lower price, because just he wouldn't have to come down to a club who like wants to defend all the time. As he said, he's not interested in those kind of clubs. He is interested in an attacking minded club like Sarri's Chelsea, and I think that's a much more realistic option than going to United. And yeah, that's why he's not coming. And I'll give it a 3 out of 10. He can't come nowhere near it. And yeah, let's get on with the fifth one. The fifth one, as you all know, has been Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire performed well, very well at the World Cup. He scored some of the goals which were crucial for England's victory, like the one against Sweden. Although it ended in a 2-0, but his goal stood at the difference between the two sides for at least an hour, and it kept making Sweden some attack, but still they were able to defend, and he was still a great component in defending. He's great from corners, but the problem here is that Harry Maguire, although a great defender, although interested in getting a big move, he just does not like Mourinho and does not like United. He just said that I do not want to play for Mourinho. You can see his interview on other sites that he's just saying that he does not want to play with Mourinho and does not like Mourinho's style. And he said that he will rot on United's bench and he will rot at United if brought to United. So that's one of the problems for United. Again, they are not interested in getting him, neither or is he going to go to them. And it also, reports are suggesting that Harry Maguire has been said to Mourinho that Mourinho does not like him after hearing this interview, and Mourinho has suggested not to go for him to the United board, and United board have left out on their pursuit of Maguire. Another defender which looks like could be coming to United. Of course, this is not really one of the big ones, and this is not really one of the much done like much likely ones, and this is Samuel Umtiti. Of course, Umtiti, the partner of Varane in the World Cup, he scored some goals too, but still I don't think this happening. I don't see this would happen, so I'll just not discuss it too much, except for Umtiti's great performance. And also his value would have been shot up high. He just signed a new contract with Barcelona, so yeah, I don't think there's any way of United forgetting him. So I don't think that Umtiti is going to come, and I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Moving on, another transfer looking likely to happen is Christian Pulisic going to either Chelsea or Man United. Now, these rumors weren't out until Pulisic just recently rejected Dortmund's new contract. Yes, this season he wasn't as best and as brilliant as we know he could be, but still their season was in shambles. The whole Dortmund team couldn't cooperate with each other. There was a frequent change of managers, and they didn't even have a solid table position in the end. They were just like, I don't know, 6th or 5th, like that. And so yeah, Pulisic is looking to move on from Dortmund. He knows that he needs to take the next big step in his career, and that next big step might be to a bigger side which is capable of winning more than Dortmund, and which is better than Dortmund. And he thinks that those sides are Chelsea and United. But the problem here is that Pulisic actually isn't as much likely to go to Chelsea as he is to United. It was and is a United fan actually. There were pictures of him wearing a United shirt when he was a child, and he was looking on United matches. He was praising them. He was cheering them on, and he also said it himself once in an interview some 2 or 3 years ago that he wants to go to United. And yeah, and that would be the dream move. He didn't speak about Chelsea, but if Chelsea can get him, that will be a brilliant thing, because there's another player who's looking to leave Chelsea, who we'll be talking about in a moment. But yeah, if Chelsea are able to get him after all this, that would be a great pursuit. That would be a great deal to be done by Chelsea. As we know, they haven't been so busy in the transfer window. They have just bought Jorginho. They need a better attack. No, it's just that their attack is good, but their bench isn't as strong to fill up their attack, so they need more bench players. Pulisic is not a bench player, but what I mean to say is they need more depth in their squad. So if someone like a Willian or a Hazard goes down and wants to, give it a rest, and so to replace him, a Pulisic would be the best option. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons Chelsea are looking to buy him. But as we talked before, United is more interested, and Pulisic is more interested to go to United. He thinks that would be the best way. And Mourinho also said that Pulisic is a great player, and he praised him some time ago. So, and he said that it would be great if we had Pulisic at United. So these are one of the reasons that make United more ahead in pursuit, I should say, than Chelsea of Pulisic. But I don't think that Pulisic is going to move this summer transfer window. Yes, it's very likely that he'll, but I think it will be more understandable and probable in the next summer transfer window or even in the winter. But I just don't see this one happening right now. Yes, he will move from Dortmund in a year or so, but not right now. I think this is not the right time for him to move. And he also had a solid preseason. If he can continue his form like this for this season, I am sure he will for sure move in winter or even in the next summer transfer window if he continues that. And we know he has great potential. United know that. And since Martial is leaving United, they want to replace him. And Pulisic would be the best option. He is young. He is younger than Martial, and he has better potential. He's one of the best wonder kids in the world, and it would also make United a better brand as more Americans will come to support United, and so there are a lot of benefits for United. And I think this is a more probable deal than Chelsea, as I mentioned before, and it would make both sides happy. So yeah, this is one of the other rumors, and one of the exciting rumors, I should say, out in the window right now. So we will have to see how this one develops. But before we go move on to the other rumor, I just want to say that these are not only the two sides up for him right now. Liverpool is also up there, but they are not the most likely. They are even unlikelier than Chelsea to get Pulisic, because they have just spent 168 million or something on the players they bought, and they just bought Shaqiri, and also Pulisic plays on the wings. So I don't think that Pulisic will replace Aguastella or Mane, because yeah, we know how great they are. And so I think he won't like to be benched much. So I think that's an unlikely transfer that he will go to Liverpool. But yeah, we'll see how this one develops. The next transfer rumor is regarding Willian, and it is looking very likely that he will be moving on this summer, and it looks like Real Madrid could be his destination, as we know that he was almost about to move to Barcelona, but Barcelona just bought Malcolm, so they don't need him anymore. But Real Madrid seem to be apparently interested in him and could start to buy him and could start negotiations with Chelsea. So this is the guy I was talking about that Pulisic could be replacing on the wings. As we know that Pulisic, just we talked about, linked to Chelsea. He's linked to Real Madrid, Willian, and it looks like he could be leaving. So if Pulisic comes, he would be a great replacement. But let's talk about Willian for a minute. He was unhappy at the end of the season about his game time, from the manager, from the tactics. He just wasn't liking any of those things, and he even, to make things worse, he just disappeared his manager from the picture of them winning at the FA Cup. He just put trophies on his manager, and that made him disappear. And so that's why he's looking to move on. He just does not like Chelsea anymore. He does not like the way they were playing. But one of the factors that could stop him from doing so is Sarri. Now, as we know, Willian unhappy with defensive tactics, unhappy with less game time. But Sarri is looking to give him more game time, as Sarri is an attacking manager, and he would want more attacking players in his team than defensive players. So, and perfect attacking option for Chelsea is Willian. He is one of their main wingers, and that's why Sarri could be using him as one of the main players for his attack going forward, for them breaking on the counter and all that sort of things. So it looks like that Willian is going to leave, but if he stays, these might be the reasons of him staying at Chelsea. Also, one thing to mention is that Willian was reportedly linked to Barcelona. Now, if he was linked to Barcelona and he did not go there, why would he go to Real Madrid? I know this isn't a big factor because he just needs a bigger move. He just wants to win more trophies. But this could be one thing, that if he has actually really likes Barcelona, he might just reject Real Madrid and would more prefer to stay at Chelsea, and he wouldn't like to go to anywhere else except Real Madrid. So yeah, these are the factors that might make Willian stay. He was actually brilliant for Chelsea last season. He scored a goal against Barcelona. He also took 2 poles on the opposite sides of the goal, and yeah, he just is a brilliant winger. The only problem for him is that his age, he's getting on a bit, and I think Real would consider that factor if they actually want to replace CR7 with a longer term option. So these might be the factors that might stop Willian. The factor that might take Villiers are trophies. Of course, Real wins a lot of trophies. We saw them win 3 Champions League, and that might actually persuade Villian to go to Real Madrid. We don't know how this starts, but we also know that if they tell him that he's going to be the main replacement for CR7, he might just instantly move, because being a replacement for CR7 and having regular game time at Real Madrid is a great thing if for a player. And I think these are more strong factors for leaving than are for staying, and so I think Willian would eventually leave Chelsea. If not this year, then he will leave the next year, but he will. I don't see him staying at Chelsea. Speaking of Chelsea's target, one of Chelsea's targets, Gonzalo Higuain, is looking like that he could be moving to AC Milan. Now, AC Milan want a new striker, and the striker they have identified to do so is Juventus's Gonzalo Higuain. We know that last season they took away Bonucci from Juventus, and it looks like they're going to take Gonzalo Higuain also. But there are some problems in it, and those problems are that Higuain does just not want to move to AC Milan because he doesn't think that he will get much better quality football like Champions League football or Euro, and he instead will get Europa League football. And he thinks that they will finish very low in the league, which might make his career suffer. But also, AC Milan have one big struggle in the signing of Higuain, is that his wages would be a massive problem for them. As we know that AC Milan is not a very rich club, I should say, and they really don't have those players who are like on extreme high wages. So I think that his wages would be a big problem. But let's get on with the transfer fee and the transfer deal, how they're looking to get him in, and what they're offering to get him in. They're just not offering money, they're offering a player, and that player is Leonardo Bonucci. Now, as we know, Bonucci moved last year from Juventus to Milan. Now he's looking to return to Juventus, as he is not enjoying his time at Milan. He has apologized to the fans, and he said he's ready to return to Juventus. But of course, the same problem as Higuain. He wants to return, but Juventus wouldn't be looking to pay his wages. The wages they have just been paying for him, and he's getting on a bit now. He's 31, and I don't think that Juventus would pay as much wages as he would want. And this might be a struggling factor for Bonucci to join Juventus back and to return to his favorite place. But this is not all, as these are not only the two targets AC Milan and Juventus are negotiating over, and the third target is Matteo Caldara. Of course, he was doing great at Atlanta on loan. He was just awesome, and he was stopping a lot of attacks, and he was denying a lot of goals by his blocks, interceptions, but AC Milan are looking to get him. Now, Juventus bought him a couple of seasons ago and loaned him. And as we know that Juventus has an aging defense, so he is just 24, 25 years old, and he could fit perfectly as a replacement for for Chiellini, I'm sorry. And if Juventus sell him, then of course they will be lacking, as they are also selling Daniele Rugani. They would be lacking defenders, young defenders mainly, which they would need as fastly as possible to replace their aging defense. But not only Milan are interested in Matteo Caldara, another club, as you can see on the screen, interested in Caldara is Chelsea. Now, Chelsea is interested in Rugani, and they're also interested in Caldara. Caldara, they know, as I just told you, was doing great at Atlanta, and he has great statistics when he joined Juventus. He still has those great statistics, and I think that Chelsea, knowing that they need a better defense in depth, so they would like to bring Caldara in. And Sarri, of course, being more familiar with the Italian guys, with the Italian league and the players who have been playing there, he would like to get him in. And Caldara, of course, would know Sarri better, and he would take less time in adjusting in Chelsea. And it looks like that he could be going to Chelsea more probably than Milan, as Chelsea are ahead in pursuing him and in negotiating with Juventus, and are apparently offering more fee than Milan. So let's see how this one develops. Let's see if he actually moves from Juventus, because Juventus might consider keeping him because of his because he is young and because of his great quality, and also that if their defensive people like Chiellini and other people like Benatia who are aging up think of retiring, then he could be a direct replacement for them. So this is actually a very interesting rumor. Let's see what happens, and also we should keep an eye on Daniel Rugani, because if Chelsea take both of them, then it might be of like 100 million or something like that, and that is too much. As we just talked about, some of the United defenders, United are looking for 100 million. They couldn't do it. They broke up negotiations. I think that Chelsea would do it because they're getting two of the best, I should say, young defenders in Syria, and yeah, it wouldn't hurt, or they wouldn't mind if they bought both of them for a combined fee of 100 million, or even a little bit less, like 95 to 80 million. So let's see if they actually move, or Juventus decide to. As we just talked about Sarri being an attacking minded manager, he's looking to make his whole team, even the midfield, more attacking. So he's looking to bring in an attacking midfielder who could do better attacking than their current crop of players in the midfield, and that player is Ramsey. Now, as we know, Ramsey is running down his contract. He hasn't been renewing it with Arsenal. He only has 1 year left, so that could pull down his transfer fee a bit. And also, this is not the only thing that has happened. Chelsea have officially put in a 30 million bid for Ramsey. Now, I think that 30 million is very low. Yes, Ramsey is running down his contract. His contract is only 1 year, but still 30 million is very low, and I just think that Arsenal board will not sell him for 30 million. I think a reasonable price at this stage would be 50 million, but if Chelsea do somehow manage to get him for 30 million, that would be great, because he's a great player. He was doing great last season. He received the Arsenal Player of the Year award as well, in a struggling Arsenal team. As we know, they haven't been doing so great for the past 2 seasons. They finished 6th last season, and so they're looking to poach Ramsey from from under their sleeves. And if Ramsey comes in, he'll do a great job at Chelsea, because he will play in the attacking mid position, which he hasn't been playing in Arsenal. He plays rarely in that position, but he still plays in that position, and when he does a brilliant job in that position. Not only the statistics of Ramsey suggest that he was brilliant going forward, he scored every game 0.7 goals and provided 0.7 assists every game. That was statistics which I think has impressed Sarri a lot, and it looks like that he's looking to make their team even better with the addition of Ramsey. And as we know, that Chelsea have got a great midfield with Jorginho, Kante, and one of those Fabregas or other players, but they haven't got an attacking midfield. They haven't got a midfield that can attack as well as defend. So in order to do that, he's trying to bring Ramsey. Now, Jorginho would play in a simple certain low role which he has been playing with in Sarri for the past years, and Kante will of course be doing what he does best: stealing the ball, going forward, coming back, being everywhere, and just torturing the attackers. And then Ramsey being provided with Kante and Jorginho, he will go forward. He'll provide Morata or whoever striker comes in, with Hazard and Willian on the wing, or in Pulisic on the wing, and that would be a very terrifying attack to even think about. And this would be great, as Ramsey would love to go ahead with this deal, as we all know that Chelsea have been doing better than Arsenal. It was that last season they didn't do much better, but they still finished one place above Arsenal. But another thing is that Ramsey would think that he's getting Europa League both sides. I'm sorry. And if he does decide to move to Chelsea, he will also think that will he be a starter. I don't think that he won't be a starter, but I don't think that he will be starting every game. Like, Fabregas would also want some game time. So when Sarri does actually look to go to a defensive formation, which is very rare, or if like in the middle of the game he substitutes Ramsey for Fabregas if they are leading and they would like to go to a defensive formation just to not tire the players out more and preserve their energy for the next important game, and then he would switch to a defensive formation, which would help Chelsea retain the lead and go on to win the game in the end. So yeah, there are many possibilities. If actually Ramsey goes, how would you Gooners feel if he goes for 30 million? Would you be annoyed? I certainly would, because 30 million for Ramsey is very less. So, but what about you, Chelsea fans? Would you enjoy seeing him in Chelsea? Would you enjoy seeing him create assists and score goals in a Chelsea shirt? And also, Arsenal won't be selling him less than 30 million just for this reason, that they are selling him to a direct rival. I don't think that they would even sell him, but because of his contract, they would. They must. But they will not sell him for 30 million to a direct rival, because it would weaken them and strengthen a direct rival, which is Chelsea. I don't think that this is possible, but if this does get done, then Chelsea have done a great deal of business by getting him, if it does go through in a 30 million price. But that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video, and like and subscribe for more of these. Stay tuned and click on the bell icon, because the sub box hasn't been the best by YouTube. The YouTube has just ruined it over the few years. So please hit that bell icon also if you are subscribed, and also suggest me rumors which in my comment section below. Follow me on Twitter, and if you know any rumors yourself, please tweet me on my Twitter, which will be in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Please like and subscribe, and tell me how to improve in the comment section below, or tweet me. Thank you.